Today we're going to talk about 4 ways to focus a DSLR on yourself, because you got a selfie like every day. The first way is that if you have a DSLR that has a flip out LCD screen, you can turn it back around at you, and most of the low-end DSLRs have this option. When it's turned back towards you, before hitting record, position the magnifying rectangle on where your face will be when you're in front of the camera, hit the zoom to 5x or 10x on the image, and then go stand in place. You can then just reach out and adjust the camera's focus, or you can lean forward or backward until you're perfectly in focus. Building off using that flip back LCD screen, instead of having to just manually focus the camera once you're in front of it, just position that magnifying rectangle on your face like before, and then use an external wireless remote like this Canon RC-6, which only runs about $20. You can then hit the record button with the lens set to autofocus, and it will find your face and focus on it. Then you can switch the lens back to manual focus and keep recording. The easiest way to focus a camera is if you're actually behind it. So put a pretend you in front of it. A friend, a spouse, a coworker, someone that's about the same height as you. But if you don't have that, you can go with something like an exposure card on a light stand. Put it at where you're gonna be, where your face is gonna be, focus on it, use a spring clip to hold it on place, and yeah, they're pretty cheap. This was like 20 bucks, so just get one. The fourth, final, and my favorite way to make sure that I'm properly focused, exposed, and framed is to use an external monitor. Now, you need HDMI out on your camera if you want to use this, but if you have one, it's well worth it to do so. To me, there are 3 kinds of external monitors. There are the cheap ones for about $150 to $200 on Amazon. You can get a cheap LCD monitor, typically made to be on the back of a seat of a minivan so kids can watch Frozen, but you can get something like the Lilliput 7-inch one, and you can use that to monitor yourself. Next, there are the really nice LCD monitors from companies like Small HD and Atomos. These are anywhere from $600 to $1,000. They even have some ability to do video recording at a higher bit rate. And lastly, you have TVs and computer monitors. Go with a small computer monitor if you want some portability around where you're shooting, but for a nice permanent solution, go with an LCD TV. You can mount it directly behind the camera. I just put one up in my studio about a week or 2 ago. Really helps when I'm shooting by myself. And now, once you're in focus, there are 4 things you should do. 1, switch the lens from auto to manual focus. This will make sure that the camera doesn't change the focus on you after you've set it. Number 2, mark the spot on the ground where you need to stand, or where your chair legs need to go. You can use tape, or sometimes I just put shoes in front of my toes so I know where to stand. Next, mark the spot on the ground where the tripod legs are. That way you know if it gets moved or something like that, it might mess up your focus. And 4th, you can mark on your lens where the focus is at. You can use some wax from a camera or a wax pen, or you could use tape even. That wraps up this inaugural episode of DIY Video Guy TV. Be sure to subscribe to get notified on Tuesdays when new videos come out in one of 3 ways. First, you can get an email anytime there's a new video, and you can get my free gear guide by signing up at DIYvideoguide.com/free. Second, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel by going to DIYvideoguide.com/YouTube. And third, if you prefer to have the episodes downloaded directly to your computer or phone or tablet so you can view them offline or without using data, you can subscribe to the video podcast on iTunes by going to DIYvideoguide.com/iTunes. And now next week, I'll try to break the world record for how high you can throw a GoPro in the air. And remember, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it on video.